This episode, I continue my work with the animals of Panama City, and we learn a really simple way to splice wires. We also set sail to the beautiful Las Perlas Islands. I was once again off to help on a spay day, working with the stray dogs and cats of Panama. This event was held at a local school, and although people were already lining up, we had no idea it would be one of the biggest spay days in Spay Panama's history. So I've just stopped for a quick drink break, but I've done 7 animals already. It's only 11, and I think altogether almost 100 animals have been done already today, and we've still got a few hours to go. You can see how busy everybody is. We are in the process of setting up our own floating vet clinic, but I didn't realise we actually already had some of the tools on board. For tiny kittens, the vets at Spay Panama actually use an electric soldering iron to cauterize the vessels. This means no foreign material is left behind and causes very minimal trauma to these tiny little animals. This spay only took me 6 minutes, which is by far the fastest I've ever done. Just finished my last patient of the day, and he was number 247. So we've done just over 250 dogs and 220 cats, so almost 500 animals today. So it's been a really big achievement by Spay Panama. It's pretty amazing. When the final count came in, our team of volunteers had neutered 494 animals. Ranging from tiny puppies to kittens and adult animals, this will have a real impact on the future stray animal population of Panama.
I'm going to try a little wire splicing today for our lifelines because they need to be strengthened and put in place correctly. So I've got a little eye here. I'm going to make an eye splice in the wire line so that essentially this end splices into our standing end here, and so I've color coordinated it just to make it a little bit easier to follow with some different colors, and the one that's not colored is the core strand. So we'll see how it goes, see how I go with my first wire splice.
We first secured the wire to a piece of wood to prevent it moving around while we did the splice. We then followed step-by-step instructions. But things just didn't look right, and we thought surely there's an easier way. Luckily, our friend Ollie, who's been living on a boat since before we were born, was there to help show us the ropes.
So like that, no? Mm-hmm. You have to see that it's about the same length here coming out and put it together, no? Like that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. This.
It does look easy.
It's really easy. What is that now?
And then you just lash it around with some rope or something?
Now you put here. Here you put your thing in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then you have to make a stronger
yes, with some either
if
some
you
rope
make it
or
long enough, it's as strong as a wire.
Okay.
Wow.
And it's really like easy to make, looks very clean.
These are not correctly done. This could work, but you just needs to have a longer tail and then use at least 2 clamps on the wire. But as we found out, this is not a very strong connection, as our friend tried to climb on board one evening and she grabbed onto the top one and the line came through and went slack, and somehow she managed to land straight back into her kayak instead of into the water. So I was very impressed with her reflexes.
So I'm just cutting the plastic off these lifelines that came with the boat. Unfortunately, they are not stainless steel. They're just something probably from like some home renovation centre. But we're going to make them work for now until we can potentially order in some better stuff. And As you know, we tried to do some really complicated splicing and then we're shown how to do an easy splice. So we're just going to easy splice the whole lot, and I think it's going to be way easier, as the name suggests. Alright, so the next step is separating the wires. So this is actually 7 strands, so 6 strands in a core. So we'll do 3 on one side and 4 on the other. We just do that all the way down. Then we have to divide it in half like that so that we can make the splice. Have to put it on the right side first. Alright, so that should work. And then we simply wrap around one side. Like that, and then wrap around the other side. Alright, and that's our easy splice done, and then we can just wrap cording around there, put our eye in, and apparently it's just as strong as the other splices and just as strong as the actual metal itself. So hopefully that's true. Looks a lot better than our last one. With our lifeline successfully in place, we headed to shore to check some of the local dogs and to collect some vet supplies before we headed off. Unfortunately, little Lobo's eye has not improved greatly with the additional medication, and after consulting with a friend who loves ophthalmology, we suspect he may have an immune condition that's affecting his eye. There is no permanent cure for this, but I will be following up with him again when we return. In good news, Nana's ear and skin have improved a lot, and Miss Breeze's is pregnant, so we may be filming some little puppies when we return as well. I then went to the family vets, where my friend Steph is helping me source the needed medication and supplies for turning the boat into a floating clinic. This actually involves a lot of looking up prices and calculating stock, but we are well on our way to success. We also got medication to help local dogs in the Las Perlas Islands during this trip. After a busy day of finalising things for our trip, it was finally time to head back to the dinghy and back home to Chuffed to set out the next morning. So we were literally about to cast off to leave, and Tito's just come over, and it's sometimes really hard to understand him because he speaks in really fast Spanish, but from what we gather there's an emergency on one of the boats with an animal, so he's gone to go get the animal for us and is bringing it here, we think. So we'll see what's happening.
Shoot, we got more up next time.
That's true. How far out is he going?
He's going to that right.
As Tito and Lobo pulled up with their new friends, we realised it might not have been quite as much of an emergency as we originally thought. We are finally leaving. It's a little later than what we intended. The good news is we just met Jack Sparrow and his owner Hector, and it was not in fact an emergency. Jack has just been having some bad skin issues. He's a little puppy, and I suspect he probably has some mites and fleas, but he also has little puppy pimples, which are little minor skin infections, which are really common in puppies. So we've written down the necessary medication he needs to find in town, because I didn't actually have any on board, and I'm sure Jack's will be just fine, which is good news. And we're going to Las Perlas! Whee! 7-hour journey to Las Perlas Islands, and unfortunately the wind wasn't always in our favour, so we did a combination of sailing, motoring and motor sailing to get there. We even pulled out the autopilot for the first time, which was really nice. We pulled into a beautiful village on Contadora Island, but little were we to know things were about to turn a little nasty.
So naked.
After a sleepless night with lots of thunder, checking the anchor, and pitching around, we were ready to move on from Contadora to a more protected anchorage. As you guys may remember from previous episodes, our windlass doesn't work, so poor Joel had to pull all 70 meters in by hand, which is 230 feet for those of you not using the metric system. So it was my turn to be in charge of plotting a course and driving us to the next anchorage. With the wind directly on our nose, we decided to motor the hour to the next anchorage. We had a few little hitchhikers along the way, and Joel even tried his hand at fishing. Unfortunately, it got away. On arrival at Kasaya Island, we completed our tradition of a cup of tea while watching to make sure the anchor set. But this anchorage was calmer to say the least. For our family that worries about safety on board, Joel even wore a life jacket.
It's not a photo, it's a video.
What?
It's not a photo, it's a video.
Oh. At least I'm going to take a photo.
We headed off to explore part of the island and discovered beautiful mangroves, rocky beaches, and an ocean teeming with marine life, although not the kind we were looking for. As the sun set over beautiful Kasaya Island, we felt very grateful for the amazing opportunities and chuffed feelings this lifestyle has brought us. Join us next episode as we explore more of the islands of the beautiful Las Perlas archipelago. We also meet the wildlife of the area and help the local animals and communities along the way. Until next time, stay chuffed everybody!